do that.
Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing our first oil change on our mostly completed usable pit. We just kind of finished up the concrete repair. A little bit of wet stuff, so you'll probably see that video. Anyway, today we're just going to kind of show some of the little obstacles we're going to have where we got to think about our oil change devices and how it's going to be affected with an elevating floor that goes up and down, whether or not it's going to be better to get an oil reservoir with a funnel. I'm not sure. You know, I like to get my oil going underneath, but then go up top and do the filter and stuff. Not being able to elevate my floor up, that might be kind of tricky, and dumping those things isn't exactly fun. So I may just stick with using a flat oil pan, but then those are kind of hard to get your arms around. So we'll take a look at this space and see what we need to do. If you're new to this channel, make sure you're subscribed so you can see this full pit build. We're going to be putting an elevator floor that raises up hydraulically, and the floor will rest up here at floor height so that you're not having to walk around a pit in the middle of the shop. This series is about like what it would be like to have a shop pit inside a regular garage. So people who have a regular height ceiling, what options do they have? They can't really put a lift in there when you only got 8-10 foot high you can go, you got a truck. This is kind of a smaller pit than an industrial pit, but it's going to be tricked out. We're going to have power in here, lights in here, we're going to have pegboards down here, tools, extension cords, hoses, everything you could possibly need. Well, I'll leave my welder up there, but we'll have air pig down here for the air compressor. This is basically going to be a garage within a garage. If you guys want to check that out, stay with us on the journey. For the meantime, I don't have anything figured out, but this is a good test to see exactly what I need so I can start thinking about it. I have to have a cross brace here and a drip pan to be able to take and put the oil in to catch it. Okay, we got this all set up here, but I wanted to do a little sneak peek of some add-ons we're going to do in here. Try out these new lights and see how they're going to work. These are going to go right here, so they'll be facing up. I don't have my outlets turned on yet, but I want to see how these are going to work. Here's a good light comparison. So here is halogen lamps. One halogen lamp versus LED light. I can see in there and it's not too blinding, I think, is the main point. I may have to get some little focal pods to kind of point up in here, but I mean, I can see. It's not bad. Definitely not really too blinding. I'll have to see the footage to see how the camera looks, but anyway, yeah, we'll have 4 of those down here at least. I wish I would have ran maybe an outlet to this pocket also for another angle. That's all right. We'll get this figured out. I'll have electricity down here so I can change out whatever I want. I'm not going to hardwire them in. On to the oil change. Let's see how that works. I think what I'm going to need is a secondary light that's on a little Velcro and a little bungee cord that I can set up on the edge here to shine some light up closer in different angles. This is good working light down here for me to be able to get my tools and find stuff, but not very good focusing on what we're doing light. And for the many adventures to come on our channel where we're going to use this pit to build some awesome things, we're going to need some good lights for you guys. Definitely, this is making this really close to the engine. When I have my hydraulic floor in here, I plan on being able to roll in a roller with a catch pan, but that may also cause an issue for when I want to go up and finish the oil change and do the filter. Can't have that all the way down here, so I may just create some kind of a thing that stays down here that has a little drop down here and then is made for an oil catch bucket like this, because I like using this. It's a lot easier to dump than having to dump a big thing. So my thought process is evolving on all this, and we're going to do what feels right and what's going to be natural to do and serves the best purpose in every aspect. But definitely, I know when we get our floor in here, there's going to be a lot more things to discover that we like and don't like. Mostly, once we get the floor in here, there's going to be increase in enjoyability down here. For one thing, I won't have to keep climbing this ladder. Currently, I'm using a little step stool because we're still down low. This is quite a big reach. So a little step stool for the interim till we get our floor in here. Our next interim problem until we get the elevating floor is walking in front of the car if I need to service up here. Most of this oil change I can do from the side, but if I was having to lean back there for an exhaust issue or whatever, this wouldn't work very well. So I've just been using a little pallet for a bridge, but it's really big to move around, so I'll probably look at doing something with that scrap wood I got. If you ended up coming to this video because you wanted to see how to change oil on a Chevy Terrain, well, they have a stupid design on the oil filter. I had to take a 32mm socket and cut it down, and it barely fits in there to be able to get it off. It's so stupid. Anyway, I'll show you how this works. You can barely get it in there. The engine brace is right there above the head, so you can only use this ratchet for about one turn around, and then you got to start doing it one at a time with a wrench. It stinks. That's it. That's all you can use this thing for. It's frustrating. Now we got to use a stupid wrench. You know, I know my channel's not about doing oil changes, so I'm not really going to get detailed about that. It's kind of showing what it's like to have a 7-foot pit, just starting to review what we're going to do with this thing as we continue on to modify it and trick it out. Nothing too excited about oil changes. I really want to be able to do more of like some exhaust work and being able to get a transmission swapped out, be able to get the lower end of an engine. There's just so many things that I don't want to crawl underneath the vehicle for. We're definitely going to use this pit for tons of things. I am enjoying these new Amazon lights. If you haven't seen that video yet, I do a little review of these $120 Amazon lights. 10 of them for 120 bucks. It's about as cheap as it gets for getting some new lighting in your shop. Check that out if you want. Another future project y'all don't know about is I've been storing up oil here to be able to do a oil waste heater, and yeah, there's tons of them being done, but the thing that people seem to miss out on an oil waste heater is capitalizing on the exhaust heat. The one I build, I want to do a big radiator system for the exhaust to where hopefully the heat exchanges to almost where you can touch the pipe before it leaves the building. So this barrel of oil is going to be supplying heat to the shop someday. And I hate going to the auto parts store to dump this and make a big mess everywhere. We're 15 miles out of town, and it's too much. There's too much coming and going to go buy the oil and take something back when you're done with it. We're cleaning up things around here. This big oil barrel is the start of it. Had almost 2/3 of a barrel saved up, so that's a ton. Good enough. Good. Here's my little land bridge I've been using, just a pallet. It's a good strong one, nothing to worry about there. Here's some takeaways. I need to be able to have a drop down oil catcher. It needs to be light, it needs to be minimal space so I can get up and get around it. I definitely think this was a plus from crawling under it, or I have to use ramps and get it all jacked up to get underneath there. Except for the fact that I was down there doing concrete today, I stayed a lot cleaner today doing this oil change than I usually do. Usually it doesn't matter how much I sweep this floor, I'm gonna sweep it twice as good with my jacket. This is your chance to let me know how I can improve on this. And remember, this is gonna have an elevator floor, so that's why I don't have stairs. It's gonna be awesome. Anyway, let me know what you think. What do I need down here? We're gonna install some steel rails up here to take the force of a trolley for like a transmission drop, to have some different bottle jack options to be able to lift on the frame, all kinds of things. This thing is gonna be tricked out over and over and over, upgraded and upgraded. This thing is going to be the Denali of all garage pits. Make sure that you're subscribed and stay with us on the journey. And we'll see you on the next video.
Today is the day I'm making a change, building things